Welcome back to the channel, everybody. For those of you that are new here, this is my 2003 330 Ci 5-speed. This is my autocross car that I picked up in December of 2020, 4 years ago. Can't believe it's already been that long. So I thought it'd be really cool to kind of do a little update video. So for those of you that have been around the channel for a bit, probably been thinking, Rob, you haven't uploaded anything in a while. What's been going on? Have you abandoned the channel? Are you out of BMWs? Have they finally wrecked your spirit? And well, none of that is true. Still got plenty of projects on the books. So I guess the best way to tell you what's been going on is to show you what's been going on. And it has nothing to do with the BMWs, but all about me. So yeah, this is my current reality. Got this nice bit of kit here. I don't know if you guys remember, back in July or so, I fell down the stairs like an idiot, grabbed the handrail, pulled the shoulder all to bits, and just been kind of living with it for a while. And unfortunately, it just came to the point where it had to be addressed. And wintertime's slower, I'm not autocrossing. Holidays, work dies down, so I figured this is the time to do it. And for the next 3 weeks, I'll be in this thing. It is my new best worst friend, but it's helping me get back. What they had to do basically is reattach my bicep to the tendon and fix a labral tear. Lots of fun, but healing process is going good. And that's enough about me. Let's get back to the cars. So yeah, this is my 2003 330 Ci. You guys have seen it on the channel a few times. Hasn't been a real focus. We've mostly been working on other projects and you know, a couple car flips, some part outs here and there. I also got the M3 in the background. Unfortunately, due to the shoulder injury, I haven't been able to drive either of these cars for 3.5 weeks. And I've been missing them. I thought, hey, you know, why don't we come out and just do an ownership update. Where'd the car come from? Where's it going? What have I had to do with it? That sort of thing. So I hope you guys tune in and enjoy this little update. So as I said, I bought this in either very end of November 2020 or beginning of December. I don't remember which. I know it was after Thanksgiving. Anywho, so I bought this back when I was in New York, Buffalo, New York. I've been looking for a fun project car, something I could tool around with. Backup as a daily. I was driving about 50 minutes each way to work. And while I love my Tundra, she is a thirsty girl. So never passed a gas station I didn't like. And, you know, it was kind of adding up. And I thought, you know, hey, I want something fun to drive with, something a little better on gas. So we found this on Facebook Marketplace. I don't remember what he was initially asking. I think maybe $2,800. Had 159,000 miles, I believe. And of course, you know, had a little bit of problems and did not look like this. Didn't look far from what it does now, but it needed some love, to say the least. And so I went to look at it, and the thing had a host of problems. It was dark, rainy, cold. So it was a perfect time to buy an old BMW. It would literally leave oil trails on the ground wherever it moved. So a pretty hefty oil leak, power steering was shot. He had to jump start it every single time. The thing was a mess, and I nearly walked away. But the car, body-wise, was clean, and by clean, I don't mean like dent-free, scratch-free. It's got a share of bumps and bruises, but for a Buffalo, New York car, there's no rust, no rot. The underside looked really great. And I thought, you know, where else am I going to find another one? I really did want the 330, not the 325, and a manual, and a coupe. So I love the color too. You know, I like my grays. So it just kind of worked out. I gave him a low ball offer, $2,000 as I was walking out, because he looked pretty desperate, and he took it. So we became the new owners. I did tow it home. I didn't try to drive it home with the issues that it had. And that's where this whole thing started. We got it turned around pretty quick. Right away went into the cooling system, which is the first thing that I always recommend that you do when you buy an E46. They're often neglected. You don't want those things to crack and leave you stranded somewhere, overheating, potentially wrecking the engine. So that was the first thing we went and did. You know, and started doing some of the leaks. I had to put a power steering pump on it because the power steering pump shaft shear that's really common on the LF20 pumps. Got that sorted, fixed the oil filter housing gasket. That was the main leak. And then just kind of drove it for about a year until we moved here to Georgia. It had been relatively trouble-free. I had one breakdown in that time. The fuel hose off the sending unit popped off for some reason. It's one that the previous owner installed, and left me on the side of the highway. So we had to get her towed home. But other than that, I mean, it had been great up until that point. Fast forward, you know, I started getting an autocross, and this car proved to be really fun. And I just started building it over time into what it is now. I'm hoping that I'm healed enough that at the beginning of February we have a test and tune, and I'm going to bring both the 330 and the M3 and have them battle it out in the test and tune. And I think that the way that I have this car set up, that the 330 will keep up with the bone stock M3. I basically judge my times against another one of the racers, and the delta between him and I is really close between both cars. So I think this is set up really well. How has the car been in the 4 years that I owned it? Well, other than the one breakdown when I first got it because of the fuel pump, I only had one other issue where it left me kind of stranded. I was at an autocross event, did one run, came back, and all I was crank all day long. Would not fire, wouldn't. We tried pushing, popping the clutch, nothing. It turned out to be an EWS issue, and we deleted the EWS once I got home, and it's been fine ever since. And like I said, 4 years of ownership. I've only put about 15,000 miles on it. Like I said, it's been trouble-free. Now, that doesn't mean we haven't done stuff to this car. So what all have we done to the 330? Well, we did get a set of front brakes. We put new headlight lenses on, corner lights, because the covers flew off. But other than that, cosmetically, not much. The hood that was on the car was pretty nasty. I picked up one that matched, and the paint on it was pretty bad. This hood is off the black convertible 330 Ci that I parted out not too long ago. It's much better shape paint-wise, even though obviously it's black versus the silver gray. But I figured if we're gonna paint something, might as well paint a hood that's not all dented up and you know, falling apart. So cosmetically, that's about all that we've done on the outside. Inside, not a whole ton either. When I first got it, I pulled the seats out, steam cleaned all the carpets because they were pretty grody. The seats are in decent shape, you know, a lot of color fade and some typical E46 bolster wear. And it had the classic fall down headliner. So I recovered the entire headline ABC pillars with Alcantara, and you see my little security things falling down. We'll have to glue that back up and retrim the steering wheel. But other than that, again, really hasn't needed much. I did put one of those Enon tablet screens in, which I really do like. It's great for seeing the directions and whatnot while I'm driving. But mechanically, it's had a few things. And by a few things, I mean a lot. So why don't we pop the power bar in here? I'll show you kind of some of the things that we've done. So pretty much stock looking, except for the Group M intake, which makes all the right sucky noises. Added a strut bar. This is Eurogross. No idea the company, but it was cheap, so I picked it up. But under here, the engine's been out once, the transmission out twice. Basically, we've done valve cover gaskets, CCV, Vanos line, oil filter housing gasket, power steering pump, CERT belts, hard coolant pipes under the intake, vacuum lines, pretty much everything that you need to do on these things. The only thing I haven't gotten to yet, Vanos. I have not done the Vanos rebuild yet. I need to get into that. I do have the kit, just been kind of lazy. Otherwise, steering suspension, we've got Bilstein B8 shocks front and rear, H&R sport springs all the way around, ZHP control arms, Lemforder lollipops, Lemforder bushings, all in the rear for the subframe diff mounts, M3 ball joints, top and bottom, which I guess are actually the same as the 330, M3 rear trailing arm bushings. So pretty much everything underneath this car has already been gone through, and that, folks, is why this thing's been so reliable. You know, I'm not M539 restorations, but I do believe in OEM plus builds. I also couldn't afford to do it all at once, so it's been, you know, one major project a year basically that I've gone through this car, and I've gotten it to where it is today, and I absolutely love this thing. I miss it. I want to drive it, but I can't with one hand, so we're gonna have to wait a couple weeks before we can get back into this thing. Also, I forgot to mention, even though I'm staring right at it, we have done catless headers, KS calibrations tune, SAP delete, rear O2 sensor delete. All my monitors do register ready, and I do pass emissions just fine. You're probably asking, Rob, that was a lot of work. How much money do you have in this car? Well, I read a forum post, it was probably from 2010 or so, and someone said you need $10,000 to have a good E46. Whether you buy a $10,000 one or you buy one for $5 and put $5 into it. And I can attest that even you know, 10 to 14 years later of owning this thing, that's very true. I have just over 10 into this car over the 4 years that I've owned it, including the purchase price of the car, but that's also including a couple sets of autocross tires, the Apex wheels. So realistically, about $7,500, including the car and all the regular maintenance. So $5,500 in maintenance. That's all my labor. That's just parts. And if you break that down, you know, it does sound like a lot, but if you do break that down, $5,500 over 4 years, it's like $113 a month. That's way less than a new car payment. And you know, we got a good car. I would take this thing anywhere. I drive it back up to Buffalo from Atlanta today if I could, and I needed to, but it's been a really solid, reliable car. So the next question is, Rob, should I buy an E46? And my answer is absolutely. I mean, especially if you're familiar with this channel, you know I love my E46s. I have my two core E46s, the E46 M3 and the 330 Ci, and have had plenty of E46 content. They are great cars. The biggest problem with these are the previous owners. They're typically at this age on their 4th, 5th, 8th owner and have tons of neglect. But once you get through that stuff, they're pretty decent cars. They'll run and drive. Keep oil in them. Keep a good cooling system in it, and you're good to go. You don't need to go the lengths that I did, replacing every single rubber bushing and all that jazz, but that really, it transforms how the car feels, makes it dead reliable, and you can take it anywhere. So, you know, put the time and money into it, and you got a good daily driver. These things are still relatively cheap. You can pick these up. You see me pick them up all the time, you know, sub $1,000, but some of them have title issues, blah, 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 but you can pick one of these things up and make a cheap daily driver. So I definitely highly recommend it. They're fun, they're relatively comfortable. You can get them in 4-door, you can get them in wagons, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, manual, automatic, and then the world's your oyster what you do with it. Keep it totally stock, go balls to the wall, build a drift build, race track, spec E46. Next you might be thinking, okay, Rob, you've done all this stuff to the car, you're having fun with it, have you grown tired of it, and what are your plans? No, absolutely not. I've not grown tired of it, even with the M3 in the garage. They're both fantastic vehicles with their own driving characteristic, and both excellent drivers. So the car is not going anywhere. It doesn't owe me anything, but I do have lots of plans. I mentioned before, we are replacing the body kit on this. This is a stock 330 Ci bumper, side skirts, and rear bumper. We have a full aero kit minus the spoiler that is going to get painted and thrown on this. Haven't decided if I'm going to send that out for paint or if I'm going to attempt it myself, and I kind of think I want to try it. I painted a few things here and there, and I think that might be kind of fun. What else do we got on plan? Well, I'll give you 2 big hints. All right, here's your 2 hints. You figure it out? Yes, we are doing a turbo build on the 330. Got a whole bunch of parts already here for it. Bunch more to get coming, but with the arm, you know, it's just kind of on hold at this point. We are going to use a genuine spa manifold. I had it ceramic coated. We're just going to use a Max Speeding Rods turbo. I figure why not give that a shot. As long as we got a good fueling, we have good tune, and a good wastegate, we should be golden. So yeah, that is the plan. I don't know when I'm going to be able to start on it though, guys, with the shoulder. I'm probably looking another month or 2 before I can start wrenching down here again. Maybe we can just start doing some light work. I do have a B30 on an engine stand. We could start to mock the turbo up on that. I could probably handle that, maybe some help with my son. And we at least get it mocked up so you guys can kind of see what the plan is, and then I can throw it on this when I've got better use of the shoulder. So that's kind of the plan. Today's actually the first day that I've really been down here in the garage since the surgery, and I'm so amped to get down here and get working. But I got to heal first, so please be patient with me, guys. I've been thinking of some things that we could do outside of my normal routine just to keep the channel going, get some content out to you guys. I think I want to do a live stream. It's currently Christmas Eve, maybe this weekend or next week, when y'all are kind of sitting around fat and happy from all the Christmas goodies. Maybe we'll do a little live stream. Let me know if that's something you guys want to do and see. Be happy to set something up. You know, the other thing that I like doing on this channel is buying cars, flipping them, getting them sorted, getting good cars back on the road. We have parted out a lot of cars too that, you know, it's unfortunate, but someone was going to do it anyway. So if I can pick one up cheap, part it out, make some coin, put it into the business and keep the channel growing, you know, that's what we'll do. I probably won't be able to do a part out for a while, again, because of the shoulder, but maybe we can go out and we can find a car that needs minimal work. Just, you know, mop and bucket, clean it up, and make a flip series out of it. So I've been looking at Copart, and here in Georgia, I can bid and buy some cars. So I was thinking, why don't we go out and do some Copart walkarounds? We can go out there, we can get eyes on these cars, make sure they are what they say they are, and I can bring you guys along. I can do a couple of those a week. Let me know if you're interested in that. Just again, something to keep the channel alive and keep you guys entertained. So I'm getting stir crazy, not having any projects, and you know, I'd have fun doing it, and hopefully you guys would. So I think that's about it. I really do appreciate your patience. I'm on the mend. I'm super eager to get back to making some content. We got lots of plans. I mean, that is going to be an epic build. I've got parts over here. I got parts over against the wall over here. More in the back there. We got a pretty good log of things to do once I heal. So stay with me, guys. I do appreciate it. Let me know again what you think of those ideas for the channel. You know, should I do a live stream? Should I start doing some Copart walkarounds? And then we can go from there. You know, I think I'm gonna wrap that up, guys. I appreciate y'all. I hope you're having good holiday, good Christmas, and we will see you in the next one.